Back on Sportsbit, Betting Insight today. Time for 5 great minutes with Brady Kannon at Las Vegas Golfer on Twitter, SBR contributor and golf expert. We'll talk matchups and picks in a second. So here we are, Brady, back at Birkdale Golf Club. The last time we were here, 2008, and Harrington won. He was 3 over, Brady.
Yeah, Birkdale is a fantastic course, Pauly. Really an absolute true links test on the British Open rotation. You don't always see that with every golf course in the Rota. St. Andrews, for example, a little bit different, but Birkdale, absolutely a true and very strong links design. The fairways are relatively flat along with the greens, but the edges of the fairways kind of spring up, if you will, into like a sand dune, which is great for the observers. They can kind of stand on top of these hills and look down upon the action. And then the bunkering in the fairways is amazing. You're going to have to be so good with your tee ball this week and keeping out of those bunkers to really score well. And then you mentioned the weather. I mean, it can turn a relatively benign golf course on its head in a heartbeat, and that's what we have seen happen the last couple times they've played here. Mark O'Meara in 1998, prior to Harrington, he closed out the championship at even par. So what we've seen the last couple years with Stenson minus 20, Rory McIlroy minus 17, Zach Johnson minus 15, I don't think that's going to happen this year.
Yeah, weather and wind. I mean, it's supposed to rain. We're not going to see a repeat of 08, I guess, when you had 50-mile-per-hour winds. But you're looking at winds maybe 15 to 20 miles per hour. What could rain on the weekend do to this course?
Well, I think you're right. You're going to see steady wind and probably some rain off and on. I don't think it's going to be brutal, which will be nice, but it's certainly going to be very difficult. The golfers are really going to have to work their ball in the wind. The wet conditions will soften things up, and that could make things a little bit easier on everybody because it may stop some of those balls from rolling into those bunkers and into the rough. I don't really think the course favors necessarily a longer hitter or a shorter hitter. It's just really going to be an efficient ball striker off the tee this week to keep that ball in play.
Now, this is at the South Point. This is absolute lunacy. Fowler's your favorite. He's 6-1. I mean, DJ's 11-1, Spieth 8-1. What do you think about some of these odds? Who should the favorite be here?
Well, you've hit on the big 3 right there, but 6-1, that is crazy. I don't know if they took a big bet on Rickie or what the story is, but
he opened 20. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He did open 20 just about everywhere, and now he's trading pretty much in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 everywhere. So 6 is certainly the lowest I've heard of. But Johnson, Spieth, and Fowler, those 3 guys pretty much are your favorites, right in that 10 to 15 neighborhood. And then you've got your Masters champions. Sergio's at about 18 or 19, and Henrik Stenson, the defending champion, he's in the neighborhood of 20 to 25. It looks, if you look at the history of this course, Pauly, who's won here before, it's an absolute murderer's row of Hall of Famers. Arnold Palmer, Peter Thompson twice, Tom Watson, Johnny Miller, Lee Trevino, and then, of course, O'Meara and Harrington. I mean, the cream rises to the top of Royal Birkdale.
Okay, how about some of your picks here? Maybe who you like and maybe some long shots.
Well, we talked about Sergio Garcia. The guy is, I believe, the perfect type of player for this golf course. He has played better in any major at the British Open than any other major, rather. And it surprised me when he won the Masters this year. I really thought his first major would come at the British Open. So it's difficult to pick him, but I believe he is the perfect type of player for this golf course. I think Spieth is another player with his controlled golf shots and his creativity around the greens, his ability to scramble. I think he's a player to look at. We talked about Rickie Fowler. 6-1 is a very short price to lay, but at the same time, I do think the guy has a good chance. He probably has the best stats across the board of anybody right now. He does everything well. It's just a matter of, closing the door on a victory. We saw him get out to an early lead in the U.S. Open last month at Erin Hills, and then he just kind of slowed down, and he didn't keep his foot on the gas. Rory McIlroy has been a real mystery. He missed the cut at the U.S. Open, as did Dustin Johnson. So, a couple of those players, Jason Day, another guy, number 6th in the world, Jason Day, Dustin Johnson, and Rory McIlroy really haven't been in the conversation where those other guys in the top 10 in the world have.
I'm concerned about Fowler's putting. I mean, he was horrible. He should have won that U.S. Open. He had birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity, and he couldn't take advantage.
He's a very good putter, the stats will tell you. And oftentimes a British Open, and we saw this with last year at Royal Troon with Henrik Stenson, and I believe it's another reason that Sergio Garcia does so well at the Open Championship, is because it's typically easier to putt at the British Open. They can't make the greens as fast as they do at Augusta or at a U.S. Open because you have the element of weather. You have so much wind, you have the rain. So many crazy things can go sideways with the conditions that if you had the greens as fast as a marble floor, it wouldn't work. So they have to keep the greens a little longer as far as the grass and a little slower as far as the speed. And oftentimes that will even the playing field as far as good putters versus average putters. So, you know, Stenson and Garcia, typically average putters that have shined, have you know, made excellent careers with high finishes in the British Open, and of course Stenson a win last year. So you talk about Rickie's putting, he could be aided this week by some easier greens.
Is there a long shot out there? Is someone you want to take a flyer on, maybe throw a couple bucks on somebody at a big price?
Well, you know, the 2008 winner, Audrog Harrington, might be worth a look. This guy can still certainly play. He's won 2 Opens in his career, and he just finished 4th last week at the Scottish Open. And another guy that just finished 9th last week at the Scottish Open, still in the top 80 players in the world, and that's Ian Poulter. Poulter was 2nd to Harrington here at the Open in 2008. So there's a couple of guys for you. And then as far as an American, Steve Stricker, last year at the British Open at Royal Troon finished 4th. And this guy's coming off of another great tournament at the John Deere where he plays well every year. So Stricker at 50 years old, still getting it done. You know, he also finished 16th at the U.S. Open and 16th at the Masters. So at 150 to 1 or so, that guy's probably worth a look as well.
All right, you're terrific with matchups. How about help our viewers out here with a couple matchups you like?
Well, we talked about Ian Poulter, and I think, you know, this guy is a good Open player. He's missed the cut the last couple years, but prior to that, in the 2 Opens prior to that, he had top 10 finishes. And this guy's having a pretty darn good year right now. Like I say, just finished 9th at the Scottish Open, and he's in a matchup against Zach Johnson. And Johnson, you know, he always plays well at the John Deere. He and Stricker own that tournament, but Johnson otherwise has really had an awful season. The stats will tell you that he is just off his game. Now, often he finds it at the Deere, and a couple years ago turned it into a British Open victory at St. Andrews. But I think Poulter is the hotter player in that matchup right now, and I like him at this venue over Johnson. And another one I looked at was Phil Mickelson and Brandon Grace. Mickelson, he typically always plays the week before a major, and this year he didn't. And it seemed like his schedule got all out of sorts with his daughter graduating and having to miss the U.S. Open. And then he breaks up with his caddy Bones. I just don't know if Mickelson has all of his pieces aligned. And I like Brandon Grace in a British Open. He's a very good player, great ball striker in these type of conditions. So in that matchup, again, I'll take Grace over Mickelson.
All right, excellent work. Thanks for 9 great minutes here. Good to talk to you. Follow him on Twitter at Las Vegas Golfer. Thanks, Brady. All right, wrapping it up on SportsBit. Thanks to Brady Kannon. Time for Money Time, play of the day. Betting number 763. Ian Poulter over Zach Johnson, $1.25. Bet closes at midnight Pacific time with the early tee time. Remember, it's Wednesday night on the West Coast here that this sucker starts early. So let's follow his advice and go with Poulter over Johnson in one of those matchups. The other one, of course, he gave out too was Grace over Mickelson. Hey, guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.